Hey everyone, it's Ryan, and I love to smoke. And it's been a while since I've done a review, so thank you for being patient with me. Had a few things going on in life that prevented me from being able to do any cigarette reviews, but I'm back today, and I'm here with a bargain cigarette that I just picked up at Eastside Tobacco and Cigars at 10th and Mithofer in Indianapolis, and that is LD Red. So this is a bargain cigarette. I think I paid $4 plus tax for this pack. I'm not familiar with what the minimum price is on these, but prices of cigarettes have been going up everywhere. So I picked up this pack today, along with another pack I'll review soon called Sonoma. So let's see, these cigarettes we're going to review today are manufactured by JT International Japan Tobacco, and looking at the side of the pack, these are made in Turkey. So a foreign produced cigarette. I don't know how well you could see that writing there, but I'll give my camera a second to try and focus on it, and hopefully it'll do something for you in the video. But pack design is kind of interesting, mostly red with some white. I think they're intended to kind of look like a more upscale pack, despite being a bargain cigarette. So I have seen these before. I have not tried them. Just not a fan of bargain cigarettes. So I'm not going to pack these, although usually with a lot of bargain cigarettes, they burn pretty quick unless you do pack them. But once again, I don't, because it changes how the cigarette was manufactured and intended to smoke. So let's go ahead and dive right into these. So taking the seal off the pack, cellophane pulled away nice and clean, and let's go ahead and open it up. And got an interesting little foil and cardboard in here. So most cigarettes in the US have like a little U shape that's the entire length of the pack. These have more of kind of like a finger, so you can grab your cigarette out of there. But silver foil with LD on it. So we'll open that up here and look inside. We got 20 cigarettes in the pack. So foil teared out mostly clean. Does look like the front of the pack came out clean. Now, I usually leave the back foil on the pack here, just something to kind of protect the cigarettes in the pack. Inside of the flip-top box, there's LD rewards, enter code to earn points. So I guess similar to how Marlboro does their products, they're trying to get you to continue smoking their product by offering rewards. So let's take a cigarette out of the pack here, and that's a real stubby kind of cork on there, but the paper would suggest that the filter goes further than the cork print on the cigarette. Looking at the tobacco actually looks pretty light here, so I'll hold that up to the camera so you can see there. And smelling the cigarette, a little bit of sweet. Not exactly what I would expect from a bargain smoke. I don't smell anything chemically. I just smell kind of a sweet, not really a tobacco smell, but just mostly sweet. Let's take the dry pop on this cigarette. Dry pop actually does have a nice rich tobacco flavor to it. And let's look at the filter here real quick. I don't think there's any perforation marks on it. So almost certainly intended to be a full flavored cigarette. You got LD there on the white band, which I suspect is still part of the filter. So let's go ahead and give these a spark and see how they taste. So right off the bat, not a whole lot of flavor. It did kind of start with a decent kick. But yeah, not a lot of flavor to them. Nothing unpleasant, which is good, since, typically in a bargain cigarette, it's real easy to get unpleasant smell and taste to it. But this one doesn't really have much of any flavor. Now, that one had a little more of an unpleasant taste, but nothing too bad. It does have a moderate or so body on it for being a full flavor. I mean, coming out of the nose, there's not too much flavor to it. So I guess this is a pretty middle of the road cigarette. It's cheap. Cigarettes here in Indiana are generally pretty expensive for your primary brands like Marlboro and Camel, but these are certainly on the cheaper side. This is probably one of the cheaper packs that I've purchased for this channel. The least expensive that I've tested out so far was the Seneca cigarettes, and those are up to like $3.80 a pack now, and so these are about 20 cents more at $4. But I'm actually quite surprised. So I'm a few hits in, and it's not burning too fast yet. It's actually a fairly decent burning cigarette for being a bargain and having not packed it. So not too bad. Still nice and even burning. It's not burning too fast. It doesn't taste offensive. It just doesn't really have a whole lot of taste to it. That body is starting to get a little thicker as the cigarette gets hotter. As you can see, the smoke's just kind of blowing around. Let me see if I can roll down the other window and get some of that smoke out of here. Not exactly my normal setup sitting in the car. This just happened to be where I had a few minutes today to try it out. There was a little bit of kind of bite on the back end of it, but I suppose that's just because the cigarette's getting hotter, and still burning nice and even. Filter's catching all of the junk that comes through the filter. Filter still feels like it's pretty well intact. It hasn't collapsed or it reduced in size or anything. The pattern on the filter of the gunk in it would suggest there really are no perforation marks on it, so this truly is a full flavored cigarette. Yeah, I don't really know where to place these. I mean, I've certainly smoked worse cigarettes that were more expensive. I suppose maybe I need to try another pack of Senecas to compare them. But yeah, these kind of surprised me for being as cheap as they were. As I ash it out the window here, it doesn't seem to affect the cherry on the cigarette, so it would, at least to some extent, be decent quality tobacco in there. I've seen cigarettes where when you flick them out the window, the cherry pops off, or, you know, it like burns one end of the cigarette, and this one just has not done that. So still burning pretty even the full way around the cigarette. But yeah, there's nothing really too distinct that sticks out about this smoke. I would say for $4, this isn't bad quality at all. I haven't heard much about these before. I do know that since they're a foreign cigarette, there's a lot more products as far as cigarettes on the U.S. market now that are made in other countries. Over the years, I've smoked a few of them. The Senecas that I have reviewed are made in Canada and then imported into the United States. Years and years and years ago, I smoked a brand called Bronco a couple of times, and I believe those were made in Colombia. God, going back into the early 2000s, a brand called Double Diamond, which I don't think is even available anymore. I do know Double Diamond still makes filtered cigars and tubes, but I haven't seen the cigarettes in years. And I believe those were manufactured in India. And we're getting to the end of this cigarette, so I'm going to go ahead and get into the ratings. So the taste of this cigarette, I'm going to do middle of the road at 5. And the reason why I'm doing that is there's nothing that jumps out to me that this is an offensive taste in a cigarette, but I would have hoped for a little more tobacco flavor, especially in a full flavored cigarette. Body of the cigarette, probably give it a 6 or so. For a full flavor, it's not bad. There are much stronger cigarettes that are full flavored. This one leaves a little bit to be desired. Now, the burning characteristics of the cigarette, I'm giving this a full 10. It burned nice and even the whole way down. I'm at the white band now, so I'm going to go ahead and ditch the cigarette. But it earned a 10. It burned much slower than I'm used to cheap cigarettes burning, and it burned evenly the whole way. Nothing ran on the cigarette. I was able to smoke it all the way down to the end, so it really earned that. Overall, I'm probably going to give these LD Reds, let's give them a 7. The reason why I'm going to give them a 7 is the burning characteristics really save the day on it. Nothing about it tasted offensive, but it didn't have a super any kind of distinct flavor on it. So if you're on a budget and you need a pack of cigarettes for $4, you can't go wrong with these LD Red king size cigarettes, purchased at Eastside Tobacco and Cigar at 10th and Mithofer, in Indianapolis. So overall rating of 7, a little better cigarette, primarily because of the burning characteristics. So stay tuned soon, because today I also purchased this pack of Sonomas, so I'll be reviewing them soon. I also still have that other pack of Newport Boosts that I purchased a while back, and those are probably going to be more stale now than they were before. So I'm Ryan. I love to smoke. If there's a brand of cigarettes that you want to see reviewed on this channel, leave it in the comments. I will do my best to try and find them. I am doing cigarette reviews, but much more infrequently than I was previously, so hopefully I can get to the brand that you have picked out here soon. So everyone, thank you for watching. Have a good day.